Hello, everybody. This is Jenna Pecor, and we have another edition of the Faces of Grand Prairie podcast. And today I'm welcoming a very long-time friend. This is Jonathan Richards. Hi, Jonathan.
Hello.
Hello. Jonathan and I go way back. We were in youth group together in church when we were teenagers and younger. And Jonathan has a very interesting job. Well, I would love for you to kind of explain to people what you do, because I think that's a very interesting, especially right now with everything going on. So go ahead and tell everybody what you do.
All right. Well, it's hard to explain exactly what I do. A lot of different things, but it's all usually within, broadcast and convention events, entertainment, stuff like that. So I work a lot in broadcast television. I do sporting events. I operate cameras, robotic cameras. I've run a bunch of different types of cameras, as well as, I've done what's called technical directing and video engineering, and usually, so I've done some of that throughout the years, and that's pretty much it. So
I know you've given such a blanket description because I know you've done so much, but I'll tell you what it's like on my end watching what you get to do for a living. So because I've been friends with him on social medias for years and years. And so it'll be like, oh, there's Jonathan at the Olympics videotaping the Olympics, or there's Jonathan at a Mavericks game or some kind of a concert. And we're talking like big concerts. So you get front row seats to a lot of really cool things.
Yeah, I will say I haven't done a whole lot of entertainment concerts and stuff like that. Most of my events have been sports. And then when I do get to do concerts, usually it's in like a corporate environment, like a corporate show or something like that, where we've had celebrities and stuff like that have joined us there. So. Yeah,
that is such a neat job. And didn't you win an award for this?
I did. It's actually right there over my shoulder.
Oh, there it
is. It's
you won a very important award.
It was yes, we won an Emmy for it was actually a group effort. It wasn't just me. So we won an Emmy for the US Open tennis. It was a team technical remote Emmy that we won. So
and that was just recently.
Pretty neat to be a part of.
Oh my gosh!
It was two Olympics or two US Opens ago. So not last year, but the year before.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
How did you even get into this?
Well, that's also a kind of a long story, but the short of it is I went to school for radio, television, film at North Texas. That was good. That got me kind of interested in a direction I wanted to go, and so I did that. Out of that, I started doing production assistant work, which is kind of like working on commercials, and I did a couple of feature films just as what they call a day player, where you just come in. You're not there for the whole production, but you're there just here and there. And I did that for a little bit. And a production assistant is basically a gopher. You kind of help out, do a little bit of everything and stuff like that. So, and that got me into, I met a gentleman working they call it a corporate film for TXU Electric. And from there, I met the gentleman, Chris Brock, who directs the Mesquite Rodeo, or directed the Mesquite Rodeo for Fox Sports. And I met him, and it was kind of a right place, right time. And he asked me if I was interested in working in broadcast sports, which was different from what I was doing as a production assistant on like films and commercials and stuff like that. So, he introduced me to his now wife, and she was the one who provided crews and stuff for Stars games, Maverick games, all the regional stuff that we do around here, the local broadcast crews. And so kind of got in with her and worked with her, here and there, just kind of same thing, just kind of filling in whenever she needed someone. And then, it was one of those things where I was available, like right at the last minute. She called and said, "Can you come in today?" I was like, yeah, sure. And so I came in, and then after that, she started putting me in as a regular person on the home or away shows for the local events. So when you do like a sporting event, there's usually a home broadcast that goes to our local region, and then there's a visiting broadcast, and that goes to the visiting team's region. And then, you'll occasionally do, they'll have a national presence there, like ESPN or TNT, Turner Basketball, that will come in and they will broadcast nationally for certain events. It's not all events though.
So is what you do, like your particular position, is that something that usually is pretty coveted, like within your type of industry, to be able to do that?
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely, we're definitely a niche type of business. It's very much, who and word of mouth type thing. So, I started at the lower, what's called as a utility, and that's pretty much what a production assistant is, but it's on a live, on a broadcast, and you help set the show up, set cameras up, and during, like, say, a basketball game, you'll wrangle the cable for the cameras that run around on the courts that have cables attached to them and stuff. So I did that for quite a long time, and stuff. And then I started working my way into doing more like camera work. So, and within that, that's a whole nother broad spectrum of jobs that's within our business, and stuff. So
I think it's really interesting, and I think that something that, because so I graduated 98, you graduated 96, right?
95.
So you've been doing this for a long time, and I think that gives people a little bit of context, like how long it takes to move up in something like that. I mean, it's not like you just all of a sudden one day just started being able to do this for a living. So
right. Yeah, absolutely. It took me a little bit of time, and I, when I first started, it was very inconsistent, and but luckily my wife is full-time employed, so I didn't have to worry about bringing in a huge income yet. It was more, and eventually, if you think about it, if you end up working regionally, if you work every regional sporting event, which is 80 I guess 41 Mavericks games, 41 Stars games, and 81 baseball games, that that fills up your year pretty well.
Definitely. And so how did you get to be a part of the Olympics? Like, how did that become a thing?
That was kind of very much a well, for a while, I'd been doing camera work for local sports. From there, I started doing robotic cameras. And so those are the cameras that they mount in positions. So they'll mount one for basketball. They put them on top of the baskets, looking down at the hoop. They put them in various places throughout, behind the glass. Anyway, I started working with those types of cameras. And there's a specific company I worked for, Fletcher Robotics, and they provide pretty much all the robotics in North America. In the U.S. They provide a lot of the equipment for the regional sports, and then they also provide crews and equipment for larger national events and stuff like that. So I started working with them, doing traveling and doing some basketball and football, baseball. Stuff like that, and then eventually they came a time when they picked up the Olympics to provide a lot of equipment for them and stuff for OBS. It's an Olympic Broadcast Service. And OBS provides, so OBS provides it's called the host feed. For the Olympics. So host feed is the main cameras that cover all the events. And then so your rights holders, which are like, in the States are, NBC is the rights holder for US,
Right.
BBC, Sky Sports, all the international rights holders will take the broadcast that the host feed puts out and they will air that, as well as they'll have their own cameras that will supplement their broadcast as well. But anyway, back to that. Fletcher ended up picking up a contract to provide a lot of equipment for OBS, and they needed more technicians. And so I just happened to get a call, and there you go.
I have so many questions, because first of all, you don't really understand that a sports team can create so many other industries within that sports team. That's number one. Number two, the amount of cameras that I'm guessing, and so I mean, maybe you could talk about, unless you're like right on the floor at like a basketball game or something, I don't think you pay much attention to like how many cameras are actually around you. And you mentioned moving the wires and stuff. I wouldn't have even thought about that. So like, how many camera people are actually working on a floor at any given time at like some of these sports games?
It depends. So your regional broadcasts are going to have fewer cameras usually, and that also depends on the market size you're in. So like, say Dallas, we're a top 10 market. So, we have, a pretty good budget as far as being able to have a lot of resources at our disposal and stuff. But, there are smaller markets where the teams aren't either not quite as good, or they're just, not as popular, and so they'll have a smaller complement as far as cameras and crew and stuff like that. But for our Dallas Mavericks basketball broadcast, we typically have let me try and think. Let's see. We probably have about 10 manned cameras, and then there are about 5 or 6 that are robotic or point of view POV cameras that are just fixed, they don't move and stuff. So so I'd say probably our local broadcast has about 10 man cameras.
So each of those camera people, I don't know why I thought they all worked for their own individual news station, but that's not how it is.
Well, and in addition to our broadcast, there are journalists, photojournalists from the different local stations that will have cameras there, and not all the time. They don't always have cameras there, but if it's a somewhat important event, say like when Dirk retired or Dirk's last game or something like that, our local media would have more of a presence there. Situations like that. So that's when you see them knocking over camera people, like as they're going up to like. Oh, right. Yes. I've been in those situations, been on football fields and stuff, where everybody's crowding around a player and you're having to be, hold the camera straight up in the air, trying to get the shot and stuff. So it's, there's usually a lot of media, especially at the larger events, Right. So, wow. And so for like something like the Olympics, do you get picked to do one particular sport, or do you do whatever they tell you? Yeah. For the robotic camera systems, for what the company I work for, we provide robotic camera systems for various events. Usually we did this for the Winter Olympics. The past Winter Olympics, we did hockey. I think we had a handful of stuff on like speed skating in that area. We had a handful of equipment in up doing the mountain events. Those are mainly high-speed cameras, but the bulk of the robotic cameras were at the hockey venues and stuff for the Winter Olympics. And then for summer, we do other. I was slated to do golf in Tokyo this year. I did golf in Rio 4 years ago. So I remember that. I remember Rio. You showed a lot of pictures from that. Yeah, it was very cool. I can imagine. So you said hockey and then you mentioned golf, because in my head as you were talking, I'm sitting there going, for football or like something like that, where it's kind of easier to see a big group, and then for hockey and golf, when you're trying to film like a little bitty thing, that has to take so much concentration to know where it's going. Yeah. Oh yeah, especially hockey. Yeah, hockey is one of the hardest sports to follow as far as play, because a lot of times, especially with like the main game camera is the one that's following the play that you watch, the whole time. And a lot of times, if the camera is not high enough, it's hard to see when the puck comes on the near side board. So lot of times you're not looking for the puck, you're looking to see where the players are looking and try and go in that direction and stuff. So, but there are a lot of very good operators out there that can follow the puck, and they can follow it. They do really well with that. So.
Wow, I can only. So, do y'all ever use drones in your line of work, or have you started using that? Would that be considered robotics?
It's an aerial camera.
Mm-hmm.
The companies I work for don't do any don't have any drones. I work with a lot of people who have drones, and they do like other stuff where they'll record. For instance, I think I know some people that do real estate.
Mm-hmm.
They do drones, and they'll do, if it's a large estate, then they'll do drone shots of the properties and stuff like that. And then there's some people that do various different things with drones. But as far as using drones in sports, it's not terribly common, just because there's a liability factor with drones. That it's really hard to, and plus with their technology, they're still not quite, there to where they can stay in the air long enough to be, it's not, a blimp can stay in the air for, the whole game.
Right.
A full-size helicopter could be in the air for a whole game, or a plane, but a drone, it has a limited supply battery, or if it's, gasoline powered or whatever, it has a limited flight time. So, which, inhibits it being used for, live sporting events for long times. Now, I have run aerial cameras, suspended aerial cameras. So I've run the Skycam, the camera that hangs from cables over football field,
Yes.
and stuff. I've done that for college football, and that's a fun camera to run. So,
I was going to ask you, because I think about those things that go through the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. That's been a very fun camera to run.
Yes. I can imagine. So now that all this sports stuff is on hiatus for the time being, what are you guys doing?
We're collecting unemployment if we can,
like the rest of us.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm kind of in a weird situation where, a lot of my local stuff I haven't done as much in the recent years because I have traveled so much with this other company. I've done a little less local work. So I think my unemployment might not be as substantial and stuff. So I'm having to, I think I'm in a similar boat to you, where I'm having to small business paycheck protection program, because I just recently incorporated, became an S Corp as of like last year. So I'm trying to figure that out, how that works as far as where I need to move from. So
I'm telling you, it's not the easiest thing in the world to navigate. I'm actually taking a small business administration, and they're doing a webinar about it, because it's just so difficult. If you're not a small business yourself, or like a 1099 employee, which I am, and it's really hard when the federal government makes rules that the states haven't quite trickled down to the actual infrastructure. That's what I'm having a hard time with. Yeah. It's tricky.
Yeah. And that's kind of, I went from being, I'm still somewhat a 1099, entity, but I'm incorporated, so I kind of pay myself.
Yeah.
And so that's where it kind of gets, where it's kind of gets weird with, taxes and, stuff like that. So I'm still trying to figure it out,
I'm right there with you. It is not the easiest thing. And then also to, as a real estate agent, we're really limited on what we're allowed to do right now. And so it's like, how can you use this time to either further what you're doing, or try to teach somebody else something that might be valuable? And it's definitely a pivot we're all having to do. And
oh yeah, for sure. I've been trying to, think of, I've looked at, so with the union that I'm part of, with our regional sports and stuff, they actually have available a free membership to, I think it used to be lynda.com, and now it's LinkedIn Learning. And so there are a lot of courses on there that I'm looking into taking, just to help supplement, what I do, because a lot of stuff that I need to learn more about is like IT stuff, networking, and a lot of our cameras, technology within broadcasts and stuff is becoming IP based. So we need to kind of get a little more up on that type of stuff. So
do you ever do any of the editing of the footage?
I not professionally. I've toyed around with my own little videos and stuff, but I've never done anything professional editing, unless you consider. Oh yeah, I did one wedding, and that was like 15 years ago, something like that, and that was the only one I'd done, and that's the only one I'll ever do. So yeah. So,
certainly not in the ballpark of what you do now, like to do weddings.
Yes, correct. And then the next, I think, editing you would say I would do is on a live broadcast. Technical director is who cuts the cameras and puts different cameras and stuff like that. So I did that for a few years. So which I guess is live editing, but really like post-production type work. So.
It's crazy how, like, because that's something that I started getting into a little bit, which I didn't really mean to, but when I started this podcast, I started having to edit the sound and the audio, and that wasn't really something I thought much about. And then I started doing YouTube videos, and it was like, okay, now I have to edit the YouTube video. And so now I've gotten into learning how to use social media marketing and SEO and keywords and like all these things, because I mean, all we're trying to do is just figure out where our next step is going to be and how we can kind of expand our knowledge bases a little bit. I mean,
yeah, for sure. Yeah. And for me, it's like, I'm really hoping sports will come back. I'm sure it will.
Gosh.
I'm just not sure how soon it'll come back. So, in the meantime, exactly, what I can do. And that's kind of the tricky part, because my skills don't really, right now my skills are not needed, anywhere right now. So it's so trying to find suitable employment, without completely changing, into a different career or something like that. So
how do you think
I really don't want to go back to school?
No, God. How do you think I was listening to the ticket yesterday, and they were kind of talking a little bit about, like, what is this all going to look like when they do open up all the sports stadiums? Like, are they going to let everybody in? Are they going to have only a few people come in? So, like, what do you kind of think? I mean, you don't have I know that you don't see a future ball, but do you think they're just going to start, like, stacking all the sports on top of each other and just all starting to back up? Do you think they're going to, like, how do you think they're going to do that?
I don't know. And I've heard different people, speculate about different things. Another gentleman I work with said he was talking to someone who does a lot of the NBA playoffs, and said they may try and do some NBA playoffs, but it'll be with no crowd. It'll be broadcast only, and then a lot of robotic cameras, which that would be good for me. Right. But so I don't know if they're gonna try and take that route to where they're do it just to get broadcast revenue going and stuff like that. Try and ease back into it. But yeah, it seems to be still very, very much up in the air. I mean, depending on how long this, they decide to keep this going. So
and you've got kids at home.
Yes.
Yeah, because you've got school age kids. How old are they?
Well, my daughter's 15. She's special needs, and my son is 13.
So. And then you have a wife home that's also home. What does she do for a living?
She's right over there. She's working from home right now. She works at Greyhound Lines in Dallas, the bus company. So, yeah, she works in the corporate office. She's not a driver, like everybody asked her.
Does she want to come get on camera for a second?
Oh, do you want to come get on camera for a second? She said no.
Okay,
she doesn't have makeup on, so
that's fine. But don't walk off, because I would love to hear, like, because this is something I heard the other day, and I just didn't even think about it. So there's a lot of married couples that are now having to work from home together that have never had to work from home together. So
right, let me unplug my headphones so she can hear this.
Oh, good.
Okay, all right. You're live.
Okay, so what I said was, I was talking to a friend of mine, and she mentioned something I didn't think about, which was there's a lot of married couples that have now gone out and spent their entire married life working outside of their house and now are having to work together inside of their house. So how did you get and they're like, I didn't know his work voice sounded like that.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean it's been going well. She's been working from home. I think she's been enjoying it more just because, there's no commute,
Right.
and stuff. She just has to deal with me, being here all the time. Which I'm not usually here all the time,
So are you doing a lot of the schoolwork? And she's still working?
Well, actually, our son Mason, he's actually been really diligent and staying on top of all his schoolwork with, not much supervision. We'll go in and check on him, but yeah, he's kind of been doing it all. And then we have a caregiver that comes and works with our daughter Madison, and she actually is a friend from high school. She from our graduating class. Yeah. So, and she comes and works for us. With we get Medicaid through the state, that helps provide care, respite and stuff like that. So she's been coming here to do that, and she's been working with her on, just little lessons and stuff that her teachers have, told us to look at, little online resources and stuff.
I'm really glad that didn't stop. Like y'all having somebody come. Was that kind of something y'all weren't sure was going to work? How that was going to work?
Well, we haven't been told we can't do it yet, so that's kind of the assumption. That's kind of what we're working on, and it is considered an essential business. Caregiving and stuff like that. So, we haven't been, nobody's scolded us yet, as far as still having her come over and stuff. So
I would imagine it would be very important. I mean, just that you still have to have that, and that's definitely something that's important. So but you guys are very y'all get out and about a lot. Y'all are always out doing a lot of different things. So has that been hard to kind of have to stay in your house?
For me it has. It definitely has for me, because I like getting outside and being on lakes and in hiking trails and all that stuff. Jonica has been fine with it. I don't think she's left the house in a week or two. I think it's been a while. That she's very much a homebody, so this is like heaven for her.
Yeah.
And I get to do my Zumba classes online.
Oh yeah, she's been doing her exercise classes upstairs online. So and she has more time because she doesn't have to commute anymore. So,
that's true.
Yeah. So it's been really good for her, and I'm happy for her, and I wish I was working more, but but yeah, so, and I, like I said, she's used to me being gone and she's being at work, and honestly, I'm used to her being gone when I am home, when I'm not working. So it's been an adjustment for both of us, but I think it's been pretty good.
So, because y'all been married for how long now?
How long have we been married?
Let's see. June will be 18 years.
So 18 years. Yep.
18 years.
Yep.
So y'all are used to each other by now.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah.
I feel bad for all the newlyweds that just got married.
Yeah. They're having to learn each other's quirks.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know if I considered if I was gonna have to be quarantined with this person. And now I'm stuck with it.
Yeah.
That should be one of the.
That should be like a test.
Question that they ask at the premarital counseling.
Yeah, at the premarital counseling. Yeah.
I feel like after this, that's exactly what's going to be in there. Like if you had to be quarantined.
He was like, all right, so now you have to go stay for a week together in a hotel room by yourselves. You can't leave. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to throw in some other stressors while we're at it, just to see how much you can take as a married couple.
Exactly.
Oh, that's so funny. So your mom and your dad are really good friends with our family. So are they just dying not being able to see you guys?
Oh my gosh. I get a call from my mom every day and stuff, and so we chat with them, and I've gone by there and just kept our distance, just, I've had to go get something out of the barn where we keep a bunch of stuff, and, I've had to go and do some stuff like that. But yeah, they're definitely, they're missing the kids a lot, and stuff. So, they came by and looked through the front door the other day just to say hi and, stuff like that, and so it's definitely been hard on them and stuff. So. Yeah.
I was actually out I had to do something, and I ended up in my old neighborhood, and I ended up doing kind of a drive-by during, while I was on the street, and I was just texting my people, and I was like, just look outside, I'm waving at you.
Right, yep.
You'd have thought that was like they had a parade through the middle of their neighborhood.
Yeah, I know, all right. Yeah.
That's how much we're all just.
Yeah, I know. Right. And so my daughter, she's very much a homebody too. She likes to hang out in her room. That's her fortress of solitude, as we call it, and stuff. But, every once in a while she'll be like, I'm ready to get outside, and she'll crawl to the door and bang on the door until we get her out in the car, and we usually will just go drive around and stuff, but I've been wanting to take her by to see my parents, but I know she'd really want to get out and go inside, because that's, that's what she does when we do go over there. So that's been kind of hard, she's, trying to get her out, but still keep her safe and stuff. So
it's so hard to explain to kids what's going on. It is. And it's, even if they think they understand, they still don't quite understand. And it's like, It's almost like you want to take them over, because I've done the exact same thing where it's like, oh, I just really want to go take them over to my parents. I really want Avery to see them. But it's like, it's almost seems cruel when you get there that you're like, okay, now wave, but you can't touch them and you can't hug them.
Right. Yeah.
But they need that, interaction.
Oh, I know. My mom's been wanting a hug. She's like, oh, she wants a hug from the kids and stuff. And, it's just not heartbreaking. Almost.
It is a little, yeah. So did the kids, what'd you say?
I'm sorry. I know I'm just talking.
No, it's okay. I want to hear.
I just don't look camera ready anywhere near. But no, I was laughing because my mom, I was talking to her, she lives in Arkansas, but whenever we were getting off the phone, she was like, okay, well, give the kids hugs for me. And she was like, oh, wait, no, you can't, and she goes, oh, and I said, yeah, Mom, I can hug them.
Yeah. It's like, we can hug them for you.
Like, oh, okay, yeah, give them hugs for me.
It's so funny. Yeah, it's going to be interesting when things go back to normal, how we're going to interact with people. Is it going to take time to get used to, high-fiving and fist bumping again, or,
I've been a little bit concerned because I actually had to get out and go do some stuff the other day, not for very long, but I will not, I am not a person that gets scared of germs. Like, that is so not me. But I'll be honest, I had a little bit of agoraphobia type, I was, it kind of scared me a little bit. And that does concern me, that after all this is said and done, how long is that going to, kind of the lasting effects of all that going to last between us,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. It's funny you say that, because my sister and I are the exact same way. We've never been germaphobes ever.
Right.
I'm often conscious of, wash your hands and all that kind of stuff before this all started, but never weirdo germaphobe. It's like, oh, if somebody's serving me a piece of cake and their fingertip touches the edge of it or something, I don't care. That never bothered me. Now it's like, oh my gosh, I really have to think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't like being like that.
I know.
I don't either. And I am a big handshake person. I love to handshake. I love to, we're Texans, man. We have that, and so that's going to be really hard for me. Really, really hard for me.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Going back to that. Yeah. It's going to be interesting, once all's said and done, what's going to, how the world is going to be.
I know. It's just crazy. So, well, good. Well, and I think that we have sunshine today, but I think that it's going to be kind of crummy for the rest of the week.
Yeah. I think tomorrow's supposed to be nice, and then rainy for the rest of the week. So,
yeah.
So
I actually had to go sit outside for a bit today just to get some sunlight.
Yeah. Oh, indeed. Vitamin D. So.
That's right. Well, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. I'm so glad that you came on. And the second I was actually doing a live video yesterday, and you came on and said you were on there. I was like, oh, I'm totally asking him to be on the podcast. Well, I will ask you. Okay, so I will ask you, because I remember this is a big deal, and not a lot of people can say that they knew somebody that won an Emmy. Did you actually get to go to the award show?
No. They so for the Emmys that they do, the Sports Emmys is what we win. We won a Sport Emmy. So those they usually do online, and I think they have a small audience that they have but they did a webcast of the, I guess, award show and stuff. So that's how we found out that we won. Wow. And stuff. And then after that, it was just a matter of waiting till you get some sort of email saying, do you want, ESPN bought us all plaques for our award, which was cool. But I had to buy the statue. So that's. But not anybody can buy the statue. You have to be a winner, of course.
I gotcha. So you didn't have the dramatic wearing a tuxedo, they opened up the envelope type thing?
No, I did not. So.
But it was still a cool feeling. Yeah. I remember the day that you posted that. That was just really neat.
Yeah. So.
Well, good.
Very exciting.
Well, thanks for being on with me. Bye, Jonica.
She says bye. This is fun. Thanks for having me.
This is going to make me make sure that next time I talk to anybody that their spouse is also prepared to be on camera.
Sorry.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, that's good. All right. Y'all have a great day. We'll talk to y'all later, okay?
You too.
Oh, bye.